my name's Conroy. I call myself a Conroy. I'm gonna read some stuff for you today. I only have one ground rule, and that's no snapping. This isn't some new age bullshit. Yeah. And in return, I'm not gonna do any haikus. I'm not gonna talk about pretty trees are, because no one cares about trees. You all know what pretty trees are, so we're gonna forgo that part.
Robert Frost is the man, fuck you!
So this verse that I'm gonna read is about someone much younger than me with the same social security number. Okay, so listen, this is forsaken angel boy, dusted by bone fragments, lost and found deep under the deserts, the erroneously seen dragon visages of hurricanes in his skull, screaming out like devils off the wagon, dancing, twirling, blurring images. Unwinding by the thread, deciphering language is dead, the record player on the bed, carving liberation into his head, is somewhere London's calling. Thank you. Alright, so I'm gonna start with a couple more short ones. I wrote this one a couple weeks ago in about 20 minutes, and I'm a big believer in the editing process, so I've been adding stanzas and I've been changing lines and what have you, but I wanted to kind of capture the feeling of the rough draft, because I feel like you never really capture the mood just as well as you do in that first draft. It's called She Goes Mad Like That. She has glass eyes and fireflies spinning round her head. She has morphine drips and crucifixes swirling on the bed. She bites my lip and curls her hip and draws a little blood. She sets a fire, walking on a wire to let loose the flood. Her nothing's sweet, she twists in the sheets and breaks down the frame. She arches her back and screams and dreams and calls the night by name. Across the ceiling, ringing attic thoughts singing, writ large and shot through in sable. We lay out of tune and look around the room, and she recites her favorite little fable. Thank you.
Fuck yeah! Alright.
Now I'm Irish, so I don't do sentimental. Quite the opposite, but I know someone very dear to me who makes me get kind of sentimental sometimes, so this one's for her.
Irish people.
Slancha!
You left the door unlocked for me, lightly napping, so I could slide in bed beside you. You stirred and made the walk worthwhile, because oh, what providence in your little smile. Our breaths sink together, chests rising with pleasant nothings in our heads, finding some ineffable pleasance, sharing each other's silent presence. Then our brains setting out smoke signals gently together, gently moving in you, touching your cheek, gasping out under the darkened lights, ascending to those hazy heights. Unraveled now back in the blessed quiet, laying naked, kissing the tip of your nose, catching my breath to admire the rekindling of your eyes' fire. I didn't want to look past the walls around us, holding you. I never wanted to leave that bed. And right now, it feels like a capital crime to even mention a sweet passing of time. Thank you. All right, so this one's a bit longer. I find when young men talk about parties, it's like, fuck yeah, let's get fucked up. But I think there's some more interesting things to be found in the days after, in the mornings after, and the aftermath of all that excess and what comes after, a post-party depression, if you will. And so I wrote about that, and it's called Swisher Sweet Heartache. Self-decaying mind games, a room smelling of smoke and beer, making a selection, but they're all the same. Just a shot to dull the fear. The small talk comes steadily along, but over the music it isn't quite clear. Humming out of tune, they're playing your song, another shot to dull the fear. Glasses clinking, you have all you need here, laughing and talking and drinking, and another shot to dull the fear. Inside your stomach, a flaring flame, your brain shifts up to first gear, a place where everybody knows your name, and more shots to dull the fear. And she came. Swaying skirt and a curled upper lip, molasses jamming your muddled mind, light reflecting off a blonde hair flip, whirling hurricane personified. You watch like a fool, she dances to a beat inside her head, and she makes it look cool, enchanting, enrapturing dread. In her hand, an Italian liqueur, the gazes she ignores, because all eyes were on her, but the pair she met were yours. Absent green eyes, her voice curling smoke around your ear, you put on your disguise with one last shot to dull the fear. Momentary blisses collapsing on the bed, nicotine rush kisses floating through your head, crying out in the trailing nights, pinprick needles with every wisping touch, moving in sync ever so slight, holding on to her like a crutch. Two souls the same, sharing a secret little crime, a single frozen frame, one moment stuck in time. Sweating bodies laid askew, flicking her menthol into the ashtray, close and warm and holding on to you as if you float away. Lulled to a spellbound rest, the parts and that which is greater, her little head laid on your chest, waking hours later, and she's gone. Wondering what you were supposed to do, a moth to a bug zapper drawn like the wind she blew through, and like the wind was gone. Your chest grows colder and colder as the buzz starts to die, the night gets older, looking at the sky, a pale blue scar, chalking it up to fate, chasing the whiskey with a cigar, swisher sweet heartache. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, man. All right, so I have another short one for you guys. It kind of speaks to the glory and futility and kind of recognizing the fleeting moments and things, but not thinking any less of them for it. It's called Lost Little Things. Time and time and time and time and time again, carpet bombs over sleeping Dresden. It's just us three, you, Hiram Walker, and me. Old, new, borrowed, and blue. Flaming sword from the Garden of Eden, a pack of Turkish Royals, some more time, and Kurt Cobain's Fender Jag stain. I have brought you in to find some solace. Thoughts will fade, words are scattered powder. Simpler things sing, they sing a lot louder. In a love-locked rat king of desire, we crossed that threshold, heads held high and bold, like vampires daring the dawn, like Caesar over the Rubicon. Thank you.
Tommy!
So I wrote a trilogy of poems detailing the feeling you have when you wake up next to the one you love and you succumb to the urge to want to kill each other. What's love like then? So I find that there's no moral to these poems. Quite frankly, they're about having no moral center. It's about that feeling of the vampires you invited in, tracking mud all through the hardwood floors. It's about the case of Natty Lights that you put the empty cans in to throw away at the end of the week, but as the weeks go by, you realize you're taking up trash a lot more than you used to. It's about that feeling after smoking half a pack of Pyramid Reds and throwing up in the sink, and the one you love is etching across the walls an epitaph in disappearing ink. And it's about that. Very uplifting things. They're a bit long ones. The first one is called Dreams of Jerusalem. We have woken up another day, valiant survivors, but we need something to keep the gears loose. And so we pour ourselves generous screwdrivers, hold the orange juice. Drink long and hard, keep those hands slight, keep that sparkle behind those eyes bright. Let's get this started while we still have light. What we're missing though is a song. You go to your old CD player set on the floor and you play Springsteen so the neighbors can sing along, cranked up for them next door. We sing for the hopeless through thin and thick. We sing for those burnt to the wick. I love you so much, it makes me sick. But I can feel the mood begin to shift as the days go old, so I dig through cabinets looking for buried treasure. And I come back with shining white gold, armed to the teeth with our blessed countermeasure. But when I come back in the room, you don't take the bait. I came up short, I tried too late, my last vain attempt to resuscitate. I shake my head and lean in for a kiss. You get up in silence, open the curtain. For how long we can keep at this, I'm no longer very certain. I wondered how much happier I could be, because out this room I looked and could only see nothing, and it was staring back at me. I silently beg you not to put up more of a fuss, because now the windows are all set dreary, and we look to the walls around us, stained, stately, bearing witness, weary. So we flee under our bell jar, out of sight, under the North Star. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. By the time I finish my first cigarette, you've gotten up from your seat and you crash through waves in a pirouette, twirling lightly on the balls of your feet. I ride that tide to the curves of your lips, thin black hair woven through my fingertips. Our love of fleet, this kiss, its flagship. But I can't keep you from your dance, swaying deft and clever, to and fro. The look in your eyes, firefly chants, you're drawing our names in the snow. The Lord above in all his grace is relocated down to the lines of your face, dearie. You can see your glow from outer space. We will rise again, brave new creatures. We will wake again, for that I am sure. Thinking of days we hid under bleachers. We're laughing again, reborn, pure. Let us keep drinking and laughing ourselves dumb. Let us raise a toast for all the things to come. Let us drink to next year in Jerusalem. Thank you.
All right, Tommy.
Next year in Jerusalem is a Hebrew phrase that they say at the end of the Passover ceremonies. It's kind of looking forward to the things to come, but for these two people, the things don't come. And this next poem is called 3-Week-Old Milk, because the love has expired and is beginning to smell pretty sour. You're yelling again, I don't even bother, you think I don't care, but to the contrary, I'm feeling like 5 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Marys. Fleeting, quiet, protests in vain, deciphering your half-cocked riddle, that clamor searing across my brain, a bow across a pawn-shop fiddle. You smack my head and push me to the wall, I spit back venom into your ear, you screech your voice a siren call, worn throats oiled up with Everclear. Soon enough, all is done and all is said. In that low winter light, you cast your hex. We fall like incoming comets together on the bed in a tangled knot of screams and sex. After that supernova, we flee the bedroom. The crinkled sheets mock us with asperity. Vague hints of an impending doom, an afterglow-induced clarity. Keep the lights down low, lock ourselves back into familiar routines. Actors panning their own shows, moving, thinking like machines. A signal flare, cigarette cherry, we speak soft when we do speak. Drawing myself in, lonesome, wary, never let your stone face see me weak. Our battle lines have since become untraceable. I haven't seen your white flag and you haven't seen mine. I remember when what we had was irreplaceable, but we traded it in for a case of wine. We decided to tie up some loose ends, tensions building up in a cancer. We call up all our old friends and we aren't surprised when they don't answer. We can't even blame them for jumping off the sinking ship. To be honest, we wouldn't have picked up either. Do you remember when our names were dear on their lips? Me neither. We go to the dining room table, just us two, red rose centerpiece starting to wilt. I told you that I loved you, and it felt like an admission of guilt. Long since free as our shackled dove, just when we thought it was all nice and neat, under that shady grove we will find our love, with 30 denarii under its feet. Thank you.
Hey.
I wrote this one at midnight last night, because I was like, it could be done earlier, but it won't be done as well if I'm not, hauling ass. So this is the last one in the trilogy. It's about letting the positive energy flow, about letting the positive, wholesome energy that two people have for one another flow down the drain. And you watch it circle there with the scum, and you flick on the garbage disposal, and you say, well, I'll be damned, and so will you. It's called You Always Leave with Who You Bring. Amidst the pinhole burns and fat dead flies, 3 weeks into our new summer bender, the edict burning in your eyes screamed out complete and unconditional surrender. When you came at me at 1 a.m, reminding me of long forgotten phantom pain, at least you were kind enough to give me that warning before you stole the silence in my brain. You'll be done in just a little while, and I crack a brittle, bitter little smile, because I remember you once told me something. You always leave with who you bring. You finish, and we go to the family room, which is funny because there's no family here. But we like to pretend that this isn't our tomb, so we turn the blind eye and the deaf ear. which I find is a reoccurring trend, but I stow that thought on the top shelf. Maybe the ends will justify the means, or maybe that's just what I tell myself. You get out our wedding book, in your eyes there's a different look that no longer says anything, but you always leave with who you bring. I remember those people in there, the clever little lie they thought they spun, as if the decay reeking in the air wasn't noticed by everyone. Thoughts of your gray eyes and blue lace, of bottled giggles and pale white thighs, go retreating back to that God-forsaken place where memories go when it's time to die. You close the book and look away, something on your lips you don't dare say, yet said instead on the inscription in your silver ring, you always leave with who you bring. I ask if you'd like another drink and you nod, just a little something to hold us over, because we came here to this house searching for God and all we got was a hangover. I bring us warm gin to hold the glue, you move to the floor and sit. You asked me to tell you I loved you, even if I didn't really mean it. And the night goes on for days and the light burns ultraviolet rays and you tilt your head and start to sing. You always leave with who you bring. Thank you. It'd be bad manners to leave off on that note, so I'm going to read 2 more poems for you guys and get out of your way. If I can find the one that is. Alright, so this is another love poem, which I said I don't do the whole sentimental thing, but I listen to a lot of indie rock, and if there's anything I learned, it's kind of you fail at your expectations that you set for yourself. That's kind of what you do. Very 90s. But this one's another love poem in a situation where I wish I had taken a picture, but I couldn't because it was squandered at the moment. The early morning light through the window wreathes your heads through lazy locks of hair. I kiss your cheek nestled in the pillow, all intentions laid before you bare. You are the trailing words I whisper in my sleep at dawn, the well-loved book on my shelf, the painting on canvas drawn, the extension of myself. Drawing constellations around the curve of your hip and tracing the lines of that little birthmark of yours. Brazen flame biting your lower lip, beckoning a wayward sailor to the shore. You are that light flicker reflected in my eyes. You are the picture frame hanging askew. You are the great, grand, delicate surprise. Beautiful, intoxicating you. Thank you. All right, so this is the last one I'm going to do for you guys. Thank you so much for your generous sharing of your time with me. Thank you to Wake on Fire for the opportunity, and thank you to all my friends who come out here to support me, and all of you who are now my new friends for giving me that time. Thank you so much. This is my last one. It is called Rose Petal Picker. Making quite a figure on the avenue, past lonesome longing glances we walk through, wearing that white shirt you say I look best in, matching your short skirt and your floodlight grin. There's an imperative on your face, paired with whirlwind twirls and seraphim grace, a subtle little hint curling down the length of your tongue, catching the lights while the day's still young. In between those shadows of doppelganger boys caught, she loves me not. 2 water lilies coming down the street, bodies together and teeth clacking, kisses we meet, shooting like bottle rockets through the front door, back set on light, cascading on the floor. An air cut clean by bubblegum and bedroom pop, and quiet cacophonies and a stomach drop. In those dreamy hazes that we lie, you're the hill on which I'll die. In lifeline hands tied together, taut. She loves me not. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.